All right. Let's bring him on without further ado. Does an amazing job along with his partner Merrill Reese each and every Eagles game. You can catch his work on 94 WIP. The one and only Mike Quick, Michael Anthony Quick, as Merrill refers to him. When Merrill's in a good mood, we get the middle name, Mike. I've noticed that.
Hey man, you're not allowed to use my government name.
I'm following Merrill's lead. I'm very easily influenced, Mike. You know that.
You can go Q. You can Mike. Quick Six. Don't give me the government name.
Okay. My apologies.
Hey, Q, let me ask you something. The other day when I asked you to be on the show, and I said, we're going to talk about Eagles, AJ breaking your record, and you shot back, AJ didn't break my record. And I'm like, what? Well, what do you mean he didn't break your record? I don't know if you were trying to throw me off or being
17 games as opposed to 16.
I was just kidding.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know, man.
Take a joke. Relax.
Dude, Mike, look who I have to deal with 5 days a week, especially this one over here at the top of the screen. Mike, my nerves are frayed, man.
Oh, my God.
I'm at my wit's end and ain't even through January yet.
Gunny, I got issues with you anyway. Every time I look on your social media, you got all these pictures of these barbecues and all this cooking that you're doing. I've never been invited to even get a hot dog.
Yes.
What's up with that? There's no love for you. Gun, I don't get it.
Wait, first of all, you wouldn't show up because you're either playing golf or you're down in South Carolina. So my invitation would be wasted. So you see?
No, he's gonna weasel out of this, Mike. Do it during the football season on like a Wednesday when you know Mike's here. How about that?
Yeah, honey, I play a lot of golf in Delaware, just so you know. Just throwing it out there.
Where are you playing in Delaware? Are you at DuPont?
Just throwing it out there.
All right, Mike. Mike.
I'm wearing Wilmington Country Club right now. That's their logo.
How about that?
Boom.
That's nice.
All right, Mike. When this summer, when you're down here golfing, shoot me a text. D-Gun, I'm in the area. Because the Wilmington Country Club is only about 20-minute drive. I live about 20-minute drive south of there.
Huh.
Yeah. Now, you may not want to spend the gas money to come the extra 20 minutes.
that might have changed things.
Yeah, he thought about that for a moment, didn't he?
No, you'll have the money.
What?
Yeah, that's part of it. You pay for the gas, too.
What?
Yes. Mike, I did love this, though, by A.J. Brown. I want to show the people this. He paid great tribute to you, I thought, after the game, man. He had your old school, 82 jersey on, and, that's respect, man. As far as I'm concerned, I see that, and that's cool. You guys exchanged jerseys, and he had yours as well. I think that's awesome, man, that he appreciates the guys who came before him.
I absolutely love that. And just to have this young guy, who I think is just a phenomenal football player, understand where he is and what he's done. That's a record that stood for 39 years.
Yes.
Right.
And this guy is just, to me, just ultra talented and really such a good young man. I'm happy that he's the guy that broke the record, because I just think so much of him. If one of these guys had just caught lightning in a bottle, had one great season, I would not have felt, say, Travis Fulgham or one of these guys that,
right.
Just like caught lightning in a bottle one year and had one good season. I wouldn't feel as good about it, but I feel really good about that. This is the young man that broke my record that stood for so long.
Think about this for a moment. 39 years that record stood. When you consider the wealth of wide receiving talent that has come through this organization, T.O., Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, in some ways, are you surprised that record stood that long?
I am, very much so. And there was another one that T.O. broke. I think I had 13 touchdowns in a season by wide receiver. And that one was finally broken when Terrell Owens was here. I think he went to 14. But, yeah, I'm surprised that it lasted that long, because this franchise has had a lot of really good receivers. And a guy like Deshaun Jackson, who's certainly one of the better home run threats in the National Football League through his tenure, I would expect a guy like that or someone, Maclin, one of these guys, to, that I thought should have done it, a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Well, looking at that, it took a quarterback like Jalen, who's supposed to be, purposed as a dual threat quarterback, to go out and have 2,000-yard receivers. It hadn't happened, since Mac and D-Jax.
Right.
Do you see him right now? Has he taken that step into being on the status of a 5, Cunningham, guys of that stature in the organization?
Yeah, when you look at where he is as a pro, this is his 3rd year in the league, his 2nd year as a starting quarterback, and just look at the progress that he's made. And I'm not talking about the fact that he can run the ball and make plays with his legs. I'm talking about his ability to play the game above the neck. And I say that because I understand all of the things that a quarterback has to process and all the things that he has to do to make sure that he's getting the team into the right play, that the ball is going to the right places. There's so many things that you have to process in split-second timing and decisions that you have to make and precision passing. And he's got all of that going for him now. Not only is he a great athlete, he's a guy who's putting in the time to be the best possible player that he can be. And God, if you love the game, you have to respect that in the young man.
Right.
Yeah, he's a leader, that's for sure. Mike, how hard was that juggling act Sunday? I mean, let's face it, they're trying not to get hurt. They do need to win the game. It's hard to walk both of those sides of the fence there. And result of it was kind of as far as the effort went, but they got the bottom line. How hard is it to do what they tried to do Sunday?
Yeah, that's a difficult thing to do. But when you have a varsity team and they're playing against a junior varsity team, kind of what it was. And know that, at any point in the game when you need to turn it on, you have that ability to turn it on. I think it's hard to play those games. You do so much work in preparations for a game. You want to just go out and play hard and play to the last whistle and make sure that you're winning the game. It's really difficult in my mind to do it the way they had to do it last week. You want to make sure that that Jalen's on the field because you have a much better chance of winning the game. But you don't want to give him the entire breadth of the offense and the entire book that he's normally running, because you're going to put him in harm's way if you do that. And you just don't want to do that in that situation. But you do want to get out of the game with the win.
Mike, what has impressed you the most about the way this team arrived where it is with a 14-3 record from start to finish?
I would say it's the coaching staff. I think it's a young coaching staff. And when they first came into Philadelphia, I was kind of lukewarm on this coaching staff. But I really believe that the coaching staff has done a fantastic job. Are they perfect? Absolutely not. They're not going to be perfect. Are there times that I think that they should do something a little bit different than what they're doing? Absolutely. And I think we're all that way. But if you look at the entirety of what they've done with this football team, I really am impressed with this coaching staff and what they've been able to do and the way they've connected with these young players. Yeah. And here's another thing that's really important. And B, you understand this really well. This is a locker room that's driven by veteran football players. So your coach doesn't have to spend so much time correcting guys and setting the tone and all the things that coaches have to do when they walk into a young locker room, because you have so many leaders that are veteran guys, and particularly guys that have been in the position that they're in now before. It really helps this coaching staff.
Well, that's what makes this team such a threat in the playoffs, because everybody's thinking, all right, the injuries, Jalen Hurts injured. What they don't understand is you have the right guy right now to bring him out of this two games in which everybody was down on him. Yep. In his last game where he comes back and he's a little rusty, but you have the perfect guy to go in and make sure all the rusted off. Everybody's crossing their T's, dotting their I's, playing at a high level, and their eyes focused on the grand prize, and that's the Super Bowl. So you have a perfect guy, Jalen Hurts, with that, the coach / player on the field to direct this team.
Well, then, when Jalen's playing, it's a different, Gardner Minshew did a decent job in Dallas, and we saw him kind of progress a little bit in that game against New Orleans. But when Jalen's on the field, even when he's not at 100%, he gives this team a calming sense. He gives the team something because he's Jalen. And when he walks into the huddle and when he starts talking to these guys in the huddle, I don't know who E.F. Hutton is and that whole commercial thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
E.F. Hutton speaks and everybody's focused and they're paying attention because
That's right.
he demands that type of respect, and he gets that type of respect from guys, all of these guys, even guys who've been in the league forever. When Jalen was a young kid, when he walks into the huddle, these guys give him the due respect.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Mike, go to the other side of the ball. You go from 29 sacks to 70.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that for a minute. 41 more sacks than they had the previous season. You know, you're talking about a defense that was number one against the pass, that got after the quarterback better than any team. Yeah, maybe you're a little bit concerned with the run, but as we go into the postseason here from a defensive standpoint, what's your outlook here?
Well, again, just like on the offensive side, sometimes you want to see Jonathan Gannon a little more aggressive in terms of trying to affect the quarterback with extra people going after the quarterback. But I am really impressed with this defense and what they've been able to do. And when I say that, I think of Howie Roseman because, you know, the acquisition of Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh, I think has made a huge difference in this defense. I think Fletcher Cox has played some of his best football, some of the best ball he's played in a couple of years.
Absolutely.
And I think the addition of those two guys has helped in that process. The fact that he doesn't have to play 60 snaps a game, not even 50 snaps if they don't want to, because you keep fresh bodies that are not just bodies, but guys who can dominate their position and they're fresh. Brandon Graham finally getting to double-digit sacks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because you've had Josh Sweat, you've got what's the kid from Camden?
Well, Hassan Reddick.
Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, you got Hassan Reddick. You've got so many fastballs that you can throw at a quarterback. It's really helped this defense so much. And on the back end, golly, they're talented back there. You know, you watch how Slay becomes an all-pro. But then I look on the other side and I say Bradbury has had a season just as Slay's had.
That's right. That's right.
You know, Slay's play maybe in the back quarter of the season hasn't been what it was earlier, but Slay's been a heck of a football player for this team.
Yep.
It's concerning when Avonte Maddox is not back there because I just think he makes it easier for everybody because he can do so much. He's so talented, but it really helps them that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is back in the lineup because he too is one of these guys that's a positionless type of player that if you need him to play safety, he can play safety. If you need him to drop down and take on the slot position and the slot coverage, he can do that.
Right.
To rush the quarterback and blitz the quarterback, he's talented enough to do that.
Mike, after the Giants game, Sirianni came out and said that Jalen was hurting a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and Sirianni never reveals that kind of stuff to the media, man.
Yeah.
Did that surprise you that he said that? And obviously you get to eavesdrop on practice sessions a lot more than we ever will. Do you notice that Jalen is still not where he needs to be?
Well, I don't know. Do you believe Nick?
Well, I don't know. I mean, why wouldn't we? Because he never says that stuff.
Well, you know, coaches say what they want to say. They give you what they want to give you. And so why would Nick give you that?
I know.
He never says anything like that. Why would he give you that?
I don't know.
That's
I don't know, man.
Interesting.
That's the $100 question.
You're a smart man. You're a smart man. I'm going to let you think hard on that one.
You know what,
Come
Mike?
on, Mike?
Great point, man. That's a really good point. Yeah, whoever the
Smoke
future
and mirrors
opponent is here. Mike, best guess, it could be any of four teams, right? It could be the Giants or Seattle or the Bucks or the Cowboys. Your best guess who the Eagles will be playing either Saturday or Sunday, probably Sunday.
My best guess is that it's going to be the Giants. I just believe that how to beat Minnesota. I think that's going to be one of the upsets. If there are not more, I do believe that that's going to be one of the upsets that we'll see this weekend. I think the Eagles are going to end up playing the Giants. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I really believe. I just think that, when you look at the quarterback in Minnesota, he doesn't handle well what the defense of the New York Giants will throw at him. Wink Martindale is one of these throwback guys who is going to blitz him. He's going to blitz him on his way off the bus. Everything that they're going to blitz the entire time. They're going to make sure that they get people in his face. To me, Kirk Cousins is not a guy who's good in situations like that. And that's why I lean towards the Giants winning. And also the way Daniel Jones is playing. I just think he's a dual threat, triple threat type of quarterback and can do a lot of things. And I think they're going to give him problems.
Well, looking at the game plan going in and the amount of passes they threw in this last game, do you think it's a precursor to what they want to do in the playoffs? Because Sirianni did say that they after they lost the game against Brady and them in the playoff game, they figured out that they can't be so run heavy. At least they have that ace in the back of their pants and in their back pocket. Do you think they throw the ball to start this season off?
In the playoffs?
Yes.
I think they're really good at filling out the other team, trying to see where the weaknesses are, trying to see what they can do early in the game. They've got a scripted set of plays, and it's going to be based on what they're anticipating teams doing first, second, third down, and they'll go by their script. But in that process of the scripted plays, they will also start to try and figure out the best plan of attack in all those situations. This is a situational game. How do they handle third down? How do they handle 1st and 10? And when you feel like you have a pretty good feel for what they're doing, that's when you really open up your playbook and start to attack.
Hugh, great points, man. We do appreciate it. Looking forward to you guys, you and Merrill on the call. Not this week, but next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. And let him heal up, man. Let him heal up and let him play all these games at home. It's a beautiful thing. Mike, we appreciate you taking a couple minutes, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate coming on with you guys. Thanks for having me, and keep it going.
Thanks, Mike. Hey, Mike, I'm going to have my people call your people about the barbecue.
Hold my breath that one.
I think D Gun pays for the gas if you're coming from the Wilmington Country Club too. I think that's only fair.
No,
you for all this time, Mike. It's the only fair thing.
Mike Quick makes 5 times what I make. Heck no.
Get out of here.
No,
right.
No.
We don't believe that, Mike.
No.
Yeah.
Later, guys.
All right, Mike.
Good,
Take care.
Hey, I got one for you guys. So I've been going back and forth with this gentleman all day, as I do a lot of times. Now, he is confirmed. I don't believe it. I told him, I said, I don't know why I don't believe you. But Eagles head of security, Dom DeSandro, said he's going to come on the show when the Eagles season is over.
Okay. All right.
Now,
he's a fascinating guy, man.
Look, let me tell you something. Two things. First of all, that might be an hour segment, number one.
Yes.
Number two, get the beat button ready, because Dom will say what he wants to say when he wants to say it. He don't care who's listening.
Yes.
Now he's going to be very guarded in terms of what he's going to say. He's not going to tell you a lot of stuff. He'll answer your questions, but I tell you what, man, just talking to him is funny, man. I mean,
bro, that'll be his first time ever